So first of all, I thank you very much for joining in valuation learning workshop based on CFA level 2, or I can say, let me congratulate all of you for demonstrating learning attitude and investing your valuable time and money to learn something new. I understand all participants at a different level. Okay, so objective of this quality 20 odd hours of discussion over a period of 3 weeks. This week we'll just have a 5 hours. Next week we'll have a 7.5 hours. Then after third week another 7.5 hours. So definitely it will give you a some additional new learning in your concepts. Okay, new learning in your calculation. So definitely it will help you to be a better professional or what you are doing right now. Okay, so it will help you to upgrade yourself over a period of time when you use this learning, and also invest your time in doing some additional learning. So as we have decided, let's start with the quick introduction round. I request you can start with your name, your qualification, work experience, what you do right now, whether you are independent professional or working in corporate, and then after what are expectation from this 20 odd hours of workshop, and what are one or two important key mistakes, especially from the investment point of view, what are one or two important key mistakes. So let's start with the Arumurugam right now. Okay, starting with A, we'll follow ABCD. So we'll to Z. So starting with Arumurugam. Yes.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. A pleasure to meet you, sir. Right, so I'm very happy.
Yes.
My name is Arumugam. Having a 19 years experience in Hunter Oils Limited. I am a graduate engineer. I am from nearby Chennai, sir. Nearby Chennai.
Okay.
Totally different from financial sector, but I have a passion to start a financial related firm in our city, sir. That is my passion. Unfortunately, I didn't have so much of knowledge. I didn't have any relevant qualification in that field. So that is my failure. I have been living with this dream for more than 10 years, but I could not able to take decision to quit my job and start my new career. So now I am, anyway, I am eager to start this this kind of firm in our city. So that recently I approached Motilal Oswal to take the sub brokerage from them. That process is going on. So simultaneously, I want to improve my knowledge related to financial things so that I could able to strengthen myself to take this kind of challenge in my career. That's why for that I searched some way. Unfortunately, I found find you in Facebook. So immediately I approached you and joined this program, sir. This is my first learning related to financial. I have some little bit knowledge about share markets, mutual fund investment, other things. I have some knowledge in that technical, fundamental, those things, sir. Right, all are learned from some YouTube channels, some books I reading, some books, those things, those kind of knowledge I have, sir. But as a firm, if I want to start the financial aid firm, professionally, what I have to do, how are we to improve my knowledge, those things I require from your side. I say you are a legendary in this field, so that I want to work valuable inputs, sir, to guide me to take it forward. In investment point of view, what I did, my major mistakes means I lost some money by doing the trading in share market. This was my mistake. I failed for the first 1.5 years. I lost around 2 lakhs in the trading sessions.
In which period? Which mistake you lost?
Sorry, sir.
In which year? In 2005 to 10 to 15? Which period?
2018. That is 2018. That range.
Okay.
2018, 19. That's.
Okay, 12 lakh rupees of capital you lost in trading.
In trading, yeah, lost in trading, sir. Trading.
Okay.
That was my mistake. But now that is my major mistake, sir, in investments.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So let's go to Jitendra Ji.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Jitendra Pundir. I have around 20 years of experience, and I did CFP with you. Followed the course in Spirit, and I'm into my own business since last 1.5 years. As far as my biggest mistake are concerned, I redeemed my ongoing investments, so there was no benefit of compounding, and initially I had been a bit conservative after 2007-8 market crash. This is what
Good.
the biggest mistake.
Thank you, Jitendra ji. Kalyan ji.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I am Kalyan from Hyderabad. Currently, I'm working with Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund for the past 13 years. Prior to this, I was with the HSBC Bank for about 3 years. My objective of attending this workshop is to get a better understanding about the concepts of equity, debt, and alternative investment products. My biggest mistake is I invested in Vodafone when the stock touched 9, and I had seen it 9 going to 2 rupees 30, 2 rupees 50 paisa. Luckily, I got out of the stock with a marginal profit. So I had few sleepless nights. So I feel that is one of my biggest investment mistake where I invested close to a big money. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Nilesh.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
My name is Nilesh Todarmal. I am from Pune. I'm a certified financial planner and practicing since 2014. And I want to add little bit value in my clients' portfolio because right now I am suggesting them equity, direct equity, and mutual fund, and other debt products also. But I want to give them the best. So I want join this workshop to enhance my knowledge so that I can create some value in my client's life. The
Good.
biggest mistake is I am not giving enough time to study all the products so that I can create my own niche of portfolio for my clients basically. So that is one of the biggest mistake I am doing, to be very honest.
Okay. Okay. Your personal investment mistake, if you say from
Yeah, so my personal investment mistake is I started doing derivatives and currency futures and options in the last year, and during Corona, dollar rose drastically, and I lost almost about 50,000 or so in that basically. So I did all these things taking neck position instead of hedging it by this thing. So that was the biggest mistake. I went overconfident because I earned a good money, and then I instead of taking a hedging position, I took a neck position. So that is the biggest mistake which I think I had did.
Okay, so may I know what was the motivation for doing a trading?
Trading, it was like see, I had a surplus money with me. My investment in mutual fund and direct equities are going on right now, but I wanted some extra kind of income, kind of monthly income, which I was earning half to 1% every month. But this half to 1% greed, what you can say, make me invest more in this derivatives basically, and which I got lost also during this Corona session.
Because normally any CFP practitioner, once he or any professional, whether he or she is working in corporate or independent and complete the CFP, so we have understood that he or she will stop trading, or in case he will never do a trading, but you did, so that I thought why you decided.
Yes, sir, I did it. Yeah, I did it because I already have all my investment for goals and everything in place. This is something extra money which I had, and I wanted to get some extra kind of income because time was allowing me. So I wanted to try my hands on, and it was successful also. For around 9 to 10 months, I earned a good profit, 5 to 1%. I was playing safe only, just by selling put option, call options, basically selling options. This kind of things I was doing. But later on, I started taking the neck position because of greed, you can say. And I
What
made
is
the
the
mistake.
net outcome?
Earlier, I used to hedge position.
What is the net outcome? So you say the net outcome is that whatever profit you earn in first 10 months that you lost in Corona, and over and above you had a loss of 50,000, if I'm right.
No, no, no. It was net. Means like I have earned 2 lakhs profit, and then I lost 1,50,000 total. So 50,000 is net my profit, but still overall losses are 1,50,000. Means whatever I earned, almost everything was lost.
Okay, okay, and
Good evening, all of you. So my name is Sagar. I'm an IT professional. So I cleared my CFP in 2017 with Kyosha, sir. The reason of attending this seminar is to know the valuations, various asset class available to invest in. So all that things I want to learn from this session. And the mistakes which I have did is that since the which I gained the CFP certification in Kyosa, I started thinking the logical and practical way of building a portfolio, balanced portfolio, having the debt, real estate, and the equity, all the combinations, and try to generate a practical return, logical with goal-based planning, rather than just purely chasing the returns. Is no, going to we learn about the portfolio management based on the CFL level 2 learning. And from today, I want to learn the alternate asset investments, equity valuations, all the parameters which we need to see before investing. So that is what I looking to learn.
okay, okay. Yes, Prabhakar ji.
Yeah. So I'm Prabhakar from Chennai. By qualification, I am a cost and management accountant plus a company secretary from India, as well as chartered accountant from UK and certified public accountant from USA. I have about 33 years experience in industry, all in commercial and financial functions. Presently working as CFO or finance manager of a petroleum coke industries company in Kuwait. My main aim for joining this workshop is that I follow the principle of birds of the same feather should flock together. So all this year I had been into corporate finance, but I want to gain domain expertise in personal finance also. So that's the reason I have been attending workshops, but especially from Kyosha. I think I attended 2 workshops already in the last 2 weeks. And in fact, I'm doing CFP. I'm going to attempt my CFP exam very soon. And I've been with our Kyosha for the last 1 year. So that my expectation is that I strengthen my domain expertise in the investment planning. So that's the reason. And mistakes. If you come to mistakes, I've been doing only mistakes in personal finance, even though I'm a finance professional. In the last 30 years, if you see, first 15 years, I didn't do any savings at all. Okay, I was in fact in minus. I invested in some granite quarries. I lost my money, and then I was in minus. But somehow in the last 15 years, I picked up. But again, I invested only in real estate, not much in other alternative investments like shares or mutual funds. But in the last 3 to 4 years, I again started investing in that area also. And I want to, of course, have a proper asset allocation. So I keep attending the workshops like this to strengthen my domain expertise. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Ram bhai. मिस्टर राम पटेल, आप सुन रहे हैं हमें? Okay, so let हाँ राम भाई.
Yes. Good evening all.
हाँ, आप अपना कैमरा ऑन कर सकते हैं, कन्वीनियंट है.
कैमरा मारा इनकी ऑन છે, ખબર નહીં ત્યાંથી કઈ લાગે.
ઓકે.
કેને છે ઓન હે.
એકવાર ઓન ઓફ કરીને કરો તો એકવાર ઓફ કરી નાખો ને પછી પાછો ઓન કરો તો થઈ જશે લગભગ. હા.
બોલો ઓન પણ ખબર નહીં.
ઠીક છે, કોઈ વાંધો નહીં, you can continue.
આવડે પહેલા ચાલુ જ હતું, આવડે કઈ અટક્યું છે. First of all, good evening all. Myself Ramchandra Patel. I am from Baroda, Gujarat. I am a managing director at Promise Wealth Private Limited. I am BCom commerce graduate, and last 20 years I am doing equity broking and all, and mutual fund. And we have a team, and everything is doing good. And one biggest mistake is I dropped my CFP. I did not complete. It is my big regret. And my nature is always learn new things and about our professionals and all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have 2 + 2 4 6 participants right now. 3 + 5 6. Okay, remaining 3 4 will join later. So we'll start our journey. So before I go into screen share mode, so our objective in first 5 hours means this week, okay, our objective is to learn the concepts and valuation for the alternative investment class. Okay, let me open so it will give you more clarity. I'll move into the screen share option. Is it visible to you? Everyone, this is visible?
Yes, sir.
It is
Yes, sir.
visible, sir.
Okay,
Visible.
so let I continue now. What we can do right now, as we have completed 20 minutes, so we have another 20 minutes for my interaction. Then we'll take a break of another 10 minutes, and then again I'll send you Zoom link for another 40 minutes discussion. So I request be attentive in learning. If you have a pen and paper, you can note down also. Definitely end of the discussion I'll be sending you my handwritten notes to you. Okay, and I understand that key, as I said earlier, key everyone at a different level. So our objective is to first learn, and if you have a query questions, it is not necessary that that query question can be solved during the live session, but I suggest even also you can connect with me tomorrow onwards, okay, between 5 to 6 to solve your query in case if you have any specific query regarding our learning. Okay, so it is our objective is that we can discuss some query together, but if you have some additional query, I recommend to discuss between 5 to 6. Okay, so let start with the concept. Whether we call it investment or asset, we broadly divide into 2 categories. First category is known as a mainstream assets, which is known as a traditional asset, which is mentioned as a mainstream or traditional assets. Okay, so mainstream or traditional asset, where our majority of investor, I can say it is for the middle class and upper middle class investor. So as upper middle class or middle class investor, we invest in a listed equity, okay, through mutual fund or through demat account or through some schemes like ULIP schemes or NPS scheme. We can have a debt exposure through mutual fund or through insurance product, or even we can invest in bank fixed deposit. Okay, so when we as a middle class and upper middle class investor invest in a listed debt and equity, okay, through direct also or through intermediary. So mutual fund, insurance company or bank are the intermediary. Okay, so they charge some amount, okay, and we get the after expense the expected return. So you know all these concepts. So now what is the alternative investments product? Now please understand, those who are joining first time, please understand CFA level 2 or CFA curriculum is the high level curriculum where we think as an institutional manager. When we learn, we think as a student, okay, you are going to become a institutional manager, like you are going to be a fund manager of large mutual fund of equity or debt. You will be going to be a portfolio manager of maybe a couple of ultra HNI client having the asset of 10 crore plus. So at this juncture, the second part is for the either institutional investors, or you can say ultra HNI investors. So what could be the alternative products we have? So product is going to be same, name is equity and debt, but it is known as a private. So any unlisted company, okay, we know that in country there are thousands listed company are there, which is traded on NSE and BSE in India, but there are maybe millions of unlisted companies are there, which is known as a private company. Okay, and many of investor who like to take an exposure in private equity, okay, or private debt, definitely it is a very high risk, high potential return. Okay, so that can be exposure can be taken through direct also. If you are a example, any ultra HNI investor having 100 crore rupees with you, and you decided to invest 1 crore rupees in one of your entrepreneur company, like angel investor, we know in Silicon Valley, all internet startup and started in 1990s or 1980s, whether it is Apple or Google or etc. At the time, the individual investor, they gave money to the entrepreneur that they called as an angel investor. So if you are a HNI and if you feel that yes, this startup can reward you in long term, you can invest and buy the equity. Okay, or if you do not have that kind of appetite, because when you go with direct equity, okay, direct private equity risk is extremely very high. Okay, but you decide to go with the managers like mutual fund in retail. Okay, you decide to go with the managers like a private equity fund manager or commodities fund manager or real estate fund managers. Okay, so that's how you take a exposure here. So minimum as an investment is 1 crore to invest, or in US term it is $1 million. Predominantly it is invested through by the institutional investors. So if I say that alternative investments out of 100 example AUM, 80% AUM from the institutional investor and only 20 we can say from the individual investors. So why people are investing? Why institutions? Okay, institution could be in foreign university endowment plan, like Stanford University has a $500 million corpus, and they know that the corpus, most of 80% they don't require for a long period, so they like to invest for 20-25 years. So they decided, example, to take a exposure into an alternative asset class. Okay, so when you invest into mainstream portfolio, example, let's say this is the 10 crore traditional asset portfolio is there, where 30% exposure to bonds, 60% equity and 10% cash. What is the expected return mentioned? 10%, and standard deviation is 18%. Now that HNI as a portfolio manager, you advise and educated about the concept of alternative investment, and he decided to take a exposure in alternative investment 10% example. Now it is a 10% cash, 10% alternative investments like private equity and debt, real estate, commodities, okay, 30% bond and 50%. So what is the outcome? So expected return in a long-term period, in a horizon of 10-15 years, increased from 10% to 10.5%, and the volatility, which is known as standard deviation, reduced from 18 to 17%. Why it is happened so? Because there is a low correlation between the equity asset class and the alternative asset class. So that's the reason, even though alternative asset class independently is high risk and high potential, but when it is mixed optimally between 5% to 15%, it can give you a portfolio return which is 0.5% higher example, and standard deviation 1% lower. So what are the popular alternative investment products are there? So in across the globe, okay, we can say right now, example, if market size is approximately $10 trillion, so out of $10 trillion of alternative investment, approximately 50%, $5 trillion investment in real estate, whether it is through direct investment in real estate by the institutional investor or individual, or it is through routed through the manager, okay, of hedge fund manager or real estate fund, etc. Second biggest is private equity fund. So in private equity also we divide into two parts. One is the about the venture capital fund that we'll discuss in detail, okay, and second is about the buyout, okay. So we'll also discuss in detail. So which is at approximately 25%, and remaining investment is in commodities. So you can say that it is the right now many institutional investors, okay, they take a exposure starting from 5% to 25% of their portfolio, which is a dedicated for long term to get it the benefit of a diversification. Now, let me go into a level 1 curriculum because as right now I am into level 2 right now. Okay, so let me just quickly introduce one notes prepared by me about the key difference, which is a part of level 1, CFA level 1. So quickly I am reading the notes, or I request Aru Murugam to read the key difference. So I feel that someone is involved right now.
Yes, sir. So could I read, sir?
Yes, yes, please read it.
Yes, sir. Traditional versus alternative. So in traditional, public liquidity.
So versus private. So it is traditional is public investment versus alternative is private investment.
Okay, sir. Traditional. Traditional private mean public means public sector, sir, like that, as I told.
Public means retail investor invest. Retail investor. Motilal Oswal is a listed company, so
Okay.
public company. But suppose if any
Okay,
share
sir.
broker is there, HDFC Security, it is a private company, na? So when you buy a stock of
Okay.
Motilal Oswal, it is a public company. Shares and
Public, yes,
bond
sir.
of the Motilal Oswal. But when you buy HDFC Security shares and bond, it is called the private company. Okay, let me continue.
Private
because
sector.
my handwriting is difficult to read, so let's continue. In public, in traditional assets, you have a more liquidity, easy to invest, easy to redeem. Where it is a less liquidity, you have a maybe lock-in period of 5-10 years. Transparency is more, where transparency is less. Lower expense, higher expenses, higher regulated versus lower regulated, easy to sell. Okay, less liquidity cost, difficult to sell, high liquidity cost. Valuation can be done easily. Okay, we know that every day NAV is available for mutual fund, but maybe private equity mutual fund, private equity fund may not publish the NAV on daily basis because they have an underlying asset is an unlisted private company. Okay, difficult to appraisal, lock-in period less, longer lock-in period, tax efficient, less tax efficient, less specialized manager is required, more specialized manager is required, less legal complication, more legal complication, no leverage, more leverage means more risk, less chance of capital loss in long term when you go with mutual funds specifically, whether it is equity or debt, but here the comparatively high chance of capital risk. So by reading these differences, anyone normal person think about this is the preferred asset class. Yes, even HNI or institution also, they prefer this one asset class, which is approximately 60 to 70% in portfolio. But now they have started investing 30 to 40% in each in portfolio alternative asset class, because it has a potential to deliver the higher return in a long term versus the higher risk. Okay, So there are funds, as I said earlier, hedge fund, you can invest through direct also or through manager. So one is the hedge fund, private equity fund, real estate fund, commodities fund, infrastructure, or some other special funds are there. So as I said that why people invest in alternative investment, already shared the potential benefit of alternative investment in context of portfolio management, low correlation with traditional investment, so reduce the portfolio risk and increase the portfolio return. Okay, we can measure risk through downside standard deviation like Sortino ratio or value at risk. Definitely every investment, whether it is in listed equity or unlisted equity, there is a survivorship bias and backfill bias. We say that Sensex has reached the 50,000. Now you imagine that 1979, the 30 company was almost 70-75% was different company. Today is different company. So every year Sensex portfolio is changing, but retail portfolio cannot be done this way. Okay, or even mutual fund can do it. So that's how there is those who are surviving, we basically consider them in return, but those who basically died, we ignore their losses. So it is like that. I invested 1 lakh rupees in 2000. Okay, and in simplicity, 2 stock. 1 stock I lost capital, and 1 stock it become 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so 50,000 become 2 lakh rupees. So I measure my return that I got 4 times money, or my return is this much. But I have to measure that total investment was 1 lakh and I got 2 lakh rupees. Not is like what you have. So this is the broad structure of any hedge fund or private equity fund or real estate fund, where there is a manager is there. Then they invite the institutional investor or retail that HNI investor with minimum investment size of $1 million to invest. And then they manage the assets, underlying assets, and they generate the good return in long term. Okay, so this is about our level 1 curriculum. So right now 3 minutes are left. Okay, so I'll disconnect the our meeting. Okay, and I'll send you the new link in next 10 minutes. And then first we'll take it some of your question, whatever question you have in 5 minutes, and then another 30-35 minutes will continue our discussion. As I said earlier, I'm repeating, we have 2 minutes time, so I'm using that 2 minute time. The objective of this learning session is not to get it everything what I am teaching, but it is basically giving you idea that yes, this is something new. You learn concepts or some valuation method, etc. And in case if you are not getting first time, okay, there is a chances that each one has a different level, so someone can get it what I discuss, someone may not understand fully. So in case we can take it for query for 5-7 minutes. Otherwise, as I said earlier, we can discuss every day between evening 5:30 to 6:30. If you have any specific query, I can solve your query. Second, another thing is that as we have decided our session for 5 hours, but if required, we can discuss for another 1 more hour also. So it is not about that there is a strict timing is there and we have to complete in strict timing. So my intention is that I would like to basically communicate what I have learned. I'm sure that I didn't mention in starting of my discussion I am a CFA level 2 candidate. So I'm going for my level 2 examination in this May 2021, and I completed my preparation in December. And then I was thinking how I retain my subject, how I implement my learning. So I thought, let me introduce this kind of practical discussion session where I can interact with some of the professionals like you, which basically you get something from me. Okay, and when I communicate, I can retain my subject matter. It is going to be win-win situation for both of us. So let me disconnect and again send you new link in next 10 minutes to you. See you after 10 minutes. Thank you.